I'll never forget the moment it happened. The party was in full swing, music, laughter, the clink of glasses, but everything around me went silent when she said it. "That's just a friend," she said, her smile casual, almost too casual, as she gestured toward the man standing beside her. I froze. The words felt like a punch, sharp and unexpected. My chest tightened, my stomach churned, and for a split second I couldn't even process what had been said. Just a friend? I had spent the last 10 years believing in us, in our shared life, in the trust that we built together, and in one sentence that foundation cracked. The man she called just a friend smiled, oblivious, clearly enjoying the attention. And she leaned in, laughed at something he said, the warmth in her eyes directed entirely at him. Not me. I remember feeling a rush of emotions I couldn't name. Anger, confusion, disbelief. My mind scrambled for rational explanations. Maybe it really was innocent. Maybe I was imagining things. I'm overreacting, I told myself. But deep down, something told me I wasn't. It hadn't started here, not really. There had been subtle signs over the past few months. Missed calls she called work emergencies. Sudden secrecy about her phone, quick dismissals of texts she didn't want me to see. First, I blamed myself. Am I too insecure? Am I imagining problems where there are none? I questioned my own judgment repeatedly, trying desperately to convince myself I wasn't overreacting. But little by little, the pieces started adding up. She would laugh at messages late at night, her eyes lighting up when I wasn't looking. She came home smelling faintly of someone else's cologne and brushed it off casually. I caught glimpses of texts disappearing before I could read them, notifications that vanished too quickly to process. I wanted to trust her. I needed to. And yet my instincts screamed that something was wrong. The party was supposed to be fun, a way to reconnect with friends. But as the night went on, every laugh, every touch, every glance she shared with him was a dagger twisting in my chest. I watched her lean close when he told a joke, the ease in her body language, the subtle intimacy I had thought belonged only to us. My mind raced with questions I didn't want the answers to. And then came the moment she called me just a friend. That phrase, casual and offhand, burned in my mind. I felt the room tilt around me, the music blurring into a background hum. I could feel the eyes of people near us, sensing tension I wasn't even trying to hide. But for the first time in months, I made a conscious choice not to shout, not to cry, not to beg, but to stay calm. I smiled, a small, controlled smile, and said quietly, "Right? Just a friend." The words were simple, almost banal. But the weight behind them was heavy. The room seemed to freeze for a second. Some people shifted uncomfortably, sensing the tension. She looked at me, confused, her smile faltering, realizing for the first time that I had seen, that I had understood. And I felt a strange, quiet power in that moment. Not over her, not over him, but over myself. I refused to give them the drama they might have expected. I refused to let her diminish my worth with a casual lie. After the party, I couldn't sleep. I replayed the scene in my head, the words, the laughs, the warmth she had shared with someone else. I tried to remember the good times, the mornings we woke up together, the whispered conversations late at night. But everything felt tainted. Even the memories that had once brought comfort now stung, layered with the betrayal I had witnessed. I confronted her later in private. I didn't scream. I didn't accuse. I simply asked quietly, "Who is he really?" Her face fell. She tried to explain, stumbling over half-truths, excuses, and justifications. I listened carefully, seeing the guilt flicker in her eyes. And for the first time, I allowed myself to fully understand. She wasn't a villain. She wasn't cruel in the way movies make them out to be. She was human, flawed, capable of mistakes, and capable of hurting the people she loved most. But I also understood something else. Love isn't enough when trust is broken. Loyalty can't survive on convenience or casual words. And in that quiet, painful moment, I realized I had to choose myself. I had to choose my dignity, my self-respect, my future. The days afterward were a blur of reflection. I replayed the years we spent together, the small moments that now felt like rehearsals for a life that wasn't fully shared. I grieved not only the betrayal but the illusions, the belief that everything we had meant the same to her as it did to me. I made a decision, calm and resolute. I left. Not in a rage. Not with dramatic confrontation. I left quietly, taking my life back one small piece at a time. I deleted the expectation that she would change, that things could go back to what they were. I reclaimed my mornings, my evenings, my choices. Slowly, painfully, I started to rebuild myself. Even now, I think of that night. Of her calling me just a friend in front of everyone. Of my calm response that ended the room. And I feel both sorrow and pride. Sorrow for what we lost. For the love that couldn't survive the cracks. Pride for the self-control, the clarity, and the courage to walk away without giving her the satisfaction of a fight she no longer deserved. Love is complicated. People are flawed. And betrayal can be devastating. But sometimes the most powerful response isn't anger. It's quiet. It's calm. It's knowing your worth, refusing to be diminished, and walking away with your dignity intact. That night, I lost the illusion of us. But I found myself. And in that, I discovered a strength I never knew I had.